No, Tabby. Tabby.
Sorry.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2018 Travelers Curling Club Championship from Miramichi, New Brunswick. My name is Keith Rains, and in the booth with me this afternoon is Joe Hawks. Joe, great to have you aboard.
Thanks, Keith. Glad to be here. Welcome everyone to the Travelers. This is a really unique championship in Canada, and it's club teams more so than the competitive teams we're used to seeing at the Briar and the Tournament of Hearts.
The pros.
The pros, yeah.
The pros.
Yeah, curling has turned into that type of sport now, and that type of thing has affected club play. The numbers in the clubs have gone down some, so this is something that the Travelers came up with to improve the participation in the clubs, and it gives the average curler a little something to play for.
And in our match, the first draw today, we have Manitoba taking on host New Brunswick. And Joe, why don't you tell the folks at home the starting lineup for Manitoba? They're in the hack first.
Okay, so Manitoba's throwing first. The Manitoba skip is Deb Craner. The third is Tricia Hill. Manitoba's second is Michelle Buchanan, and the lead is Jennifer Carson. Now, you're not seeing this. This is a little hard on the color-wise out here because we have the black and yellow of New Brunswick and the yellow and black of Manitoba. So
we'll try to keep this. Thank goodness they're not playing hockey.
That's right. Yeah, there'll be no brooms or gloves dropped or anything like that. This is a game of etiquette for sure.
And it's only 8 ends, which is nice, right? And
yeah.
we'll have a break at the end of 4.
Yeah, you'll be surprised how quick an 8-end game goes. Anybody that's used to competitive play, we have 10-end games in that. But most club play is an 8-end game, and so since this is a club team championship, that's what they go with, is the 8-end games.
That's nice. And I see the first rock for Manitoba, she decided to put right in the house.
Yeah, probably a nice way to start, get a little bit of feel for the ice, and usually you'd see a team go right after that rock, but since it's not right in the center line, New Brunswick decided to be a little bit more aggressive and throw up a corner guard. So we're going to see rocks in play right from the get-go.
And we have the 4-rock rule.
Yeah, there's no, you can't hit anything in the free guard zone until the 5th rock of the end. I kind of like this. As a player, I always enjoyed lots of rocks in play, and it just behoves way more entertaining rocks in play.
Well, more different rock shot selections and whatnot. If you're playing draws or raises or angles.
well, 4-rock rule definitely makes it a little bit more of a finesse game. She's staying right with the offense, Team New Brunswick, and I might as well let everybody know who Team New Brunswick is. We hate to skip them out. So skip is Anouk Roy, the third is Courtney Berry, and the second is Julie Gooden, and the lead is Louise Michaud.
And they're from Curl Moncton.
Curl Moncton, yeah.
And the Manitoba team is from LaSalle Curling Club. And a big shout out has to go out to their a huge sponsor that they have, J&L Truck Recycling. And the girls were want to make sure that we got J&L, because they've been a great supporter of them. So J&L Truck Recycling, the team, thank you very much.
Yeah. Curling couldn't be bigger in Manitoba. I have a son who lives out in Winnipeg, and everybody out there curls.
Yeah.
I think it's just to get in out of the wind.
We got to do something to break up the winter. And speaking of winter has hit New Brunswick fast and furious here in November. We had a big snowstorm there on the weekend, and a few weeks before that, we've been hitting with. Sometimes we have a snow, but then it would go away.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going away this year, because we got another big storm coming
Tuesday
tomorrow.
Night, Tuesday night. Well,
more southern part of the province.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys avoid it.
The snow line, I think, is starting right from Ferguson to Miramichi, so I think we're going to get blasted too. But it's supposed to be a little more south of us. But since we're way ahead of the southern part of the province already, I've used my snowblower 4 times since the 24th of October. So, yeah. And the river's starting to freeze over, which is really unusual. Last year it didn't happen until the 1st of January.
Yeah.
So winter's here with abandon.
There's
full
good
month
with
early.
a shot there, picking out that Manitoba.
Unfortunately, she's hit it just a little too thin and clipped her own, and you can see it runs a little straight on that side. They were trying to throw corner guards, or center guards rather, on that side, and they stayed out on the edge of the 4-foot. So I think we're going to see a clear house here. So there goes our entertaining end. In 2 shots, bing, bing, everything disappeared.
Well, and it's funny you say that, because different times they say, I wish they had put more rocks in play, right? So, you know, it gets up, and then all of a sudden, like, there'd be just a ton of them.
Yeah.
But like you said, they just want to check it. There's a hit, and it's going to roll into the center. Good shot.
All it ever takes in curling is a half shot to see a lot of rocks go away. So you've seen now, the last rock she hit in the outside of that, and the rock ran fairly straight, so I think they picked up a straight spot in the ice. She's almost taking negative ice on the inside of that rock, and from what she threw last time, I think they're expecting this to stay right straight, but they're on it right away, so this one's might be moving just a bit.
Yeah. She's going to get it, but she's not going to stick around.
Yeah, she might have got tricked on the last throw. She maybe thought that she hit the boom pretty good, but maybe she just set it out just a touch. And if the ice is pretty straight, it might look like it's falling, but it just doesn't come back when it's running straight like that.
Well, the rink looks fabulous, Joe. All the sponsorship, all the logos on the ice, the skirting around, it looks really, really good.
Yeah, they've got it.
And this is a fairly new facility.
Yes, this facility started in 2006. And it's something you don't see too often, a 6-sheeter. And the ice in this place, with the plant that they have, is excellent. We have good ice here running right through the year. In fact, I kid some of the guys that curl here. They'll say, oh, the ice was terrible tonight. And I say, look, you guys got to travel. The ice here pretty much is perfect.
It's a little heavy. That's going to, yeah, that's out.
Yeah, she just got caught.
That just kept going and going and going.
Once we get rolling along, the first end will be a little iffy. We'll time a couple of rocks coming this way, and it'll give us an idea just what actually they're running. It does look very fast.
Yeah, we're just on to the world. That's all right. Don't worry. This is being broadcast all over the world. Joe has his fans here.
That's okay.
Come into the booth. Where's security at, Joe?
I don't know. I think security's standing right behind us.
There's under 2 million people watching this.
Yeah.
Well under 2 million.
Okay. There you go. It's happened before. So we're sliding along through the end. It's a pretty open end. And it doesn't take, but they don't need much of the rock to make it disappear. It's coming up nicely. Nice lightweight throw. She didn't overthrow that rock. Gave the team something they could play with. They curled up nice. Got a nice nose hit out in the outside end. Outside weeds, we call it. Out in the weeds when they're out in the 12-foot like that.
Forcing Perry to go at it.
So we see New Brunswick just following her down, doing the same type of thing. The last one came up a little bit. They're on this one a little harder because a little less weight. And this one's moving a bit.
Moving.
Yeah, she got enough to take it.
Ooh, just goes by.
Yeah.
Advantage.
Yeah. So if you watch the way the two rocks were traveling, that one just was through the house, so we call that almost hack weight. And it doesn't usually turn out well when you throw it hack weight out in the 12 foot. You're going to see a rock move a little bit.
And what we'll do at the end of the first end, Joe will go around the rink and just let you know who else is playing. For you folks at home, check the website, the Travelers website for the schedule. And if you're following certain teams, Manitoba or your New Brunswick team, check when they're playing next, because we do have another camera crew on sheet 5. We're on sheet 2 or B, and our other is sheet E. So we'll be broadcasting those two sheets all week long, so you can check in. But what we'll do at the end of each end there, we'll give a around the horn updates.
A little rundown on the scores.
Yeah.
Just in case the team that you're really hoping to see isn't on today.
And there is the men's play. Well, we have one draw now, and then there's going to be opening ceremonies. And then the second draw tonight will be the men's. So there's men's and women's here this week in the Miramichi.
Yeah. 14 teams on each side of the draw, so that's 28 teams. It's quite a spiel. And it's so nice to see all the provincial jackets out there.
Yeah.
You can see they're making this a real event.
Yeah. Well, it's with any sport to play in a national championship. It's a big deal, right?
Oh, for sure.
And you have curlers who are still want to be competitive, but sometimes they need that little carrot. They say, well, okay, I don't mind training or throwing extra. What are we doing it for? Well, we can go after a club championship and a chance to go to a national championship. Yeah. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. Teams now that play in things like the Scotties and the Briar, they're people who are playing together from different clubs. Sometimes now even different provinces are allowed to parachute a curler in.
Yeah.
And so they're
she slipped.
She blew a tire.
Yeah.
Out there. Yeah.
Wow.
She didn't do a bad job getting it back around the stick though.
Yeah. Yeah, she just slipped her left foot, but look at that, right on the mud.
Right there, yeah. She may set a trend here. We may see a few more trying to do that, but I doubt it. But
yeah, just the weight was a little off, and her left foot just slid out from underneath her. But she got the shot.
We call that great body control.
Yeah.
She fell with style.
Here's the last shot.
Well, there's two more to come, right? One.
Last shot for Manitoba.
Yeah. And if she can hit this, she'll and stay right on the nose of the rock. Makes it a little trickier for New Brunswick because it may be hard for them just to hit it right on the face and stay.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to really move off it, or especially roll to the inside.
Well, the strategy, obviously, when you're shooting first, is to only give up one.
Always.
And she is in a position because of that one miss.
Yeah.
That one miss.
Yeah.
Got it.
So now we have.
She's forcing.
New Brunswick has a decision to make. She can't hit either rock and B shot. She can either hit and roll off, or if she's feeling good with her draw weights, she can draw. She just obviously she made the draw to the button to get the hammer, so she must feel like she has draw weight. And there's a little adage in curling we always say, if you can't draw, you can't skip. So she.
Yes, you can no longer be our skip.
Yeah, well, I don't think they'd fire them that quick.
No. Remember the day of the corn broom?
Oh, yeah.
It just used to ruin my hands. Blisters.
We used to have a spiel here called the Miramichi Open, 64 teams, and it was a lot of fun. And so the first year I curled, I had the corn broom going, and we played 10 games on the weekend and 4 on Sunday between around 7 in the morning till about 2 o'clock that afternoon. So I felt like I'd walked on my hands. My arms had grown over the weekend. So her draw's on the way.
Roy with the last shot.
They're working it hard. They're working it hard. And oh boy.
Now 3 of them on it.
Yeah. They're dragging her a long ways.
Yeah.
She's.
Don't want to be.
Oh boy.
Look at that.
A little short. Yeah, not by much.
And that's a steal of 2
so she
for
pulled the
Manitoba.
string a little bit there. She pulled the string on that one a little bit.
And that's what obviously your strategy when you're at first stone is to force them.
Oh, always,
Right?
always, always.
Put a little pressure on them.
Yeah.
So.
And that was unfortunate. The actual first shot by the mate on the open miss on the side forced the play, and this is what happens because of it.
Yeah.
Right? And two full misses in the end usually means a deuce.
Isn't that? So why don't we go over, as they're finishing up some of the ends here, let's go over qualifications. I know we talked about it before we went on air, but just again for the folks at home, we talked about the curlers that are in the Briar and all these other the pennies tournaments and stuff. I mean, obviously they're the pros basically because they're almost full time. They're doing it full time. The Brad Gushus of the world and the Howards and whatnot. But with the club format, what are the qualifications for that?
So the way they've changed it for the Travelers to try and bring things back into the club is teams that partake in this have to be club teams, and by that it usually means that they're playing in a league together, and they don't completely omit competitive curlers, but the ruling is that you can't have more than 2 people play in a team that are involved in competitive curling in the last 2 years. So that would mean either participating in the Scotties, the Briar, or the senior national championships and going to the playdowns for that. So this renders it more of a team game for teams that play in the club, and it's just opened up a national championship to people who really would never have a chance to go to one.
Yeah.
And great for club curling, because club curling really did need something like this.
And it's really nice. I mean, like when we had the Women's Worlds in St. John there a few years ago, and what they try to do is obviously get the community involved, but get the kids involved. So obviously before the championships, there was events going on in the schools and stuff to promote curling, and obviously going back to try to promote it, come to the curling clubs, to learn, and the classes are there, and even for the recreational one, what a great pastime. You were talking about it earlier, say Manitoba, like Manitoba, Saskatchewan, like Alberta out west, they live and breathe curling, right? And it's a great, when you have events like this, sometimes it sort of brings awareness back into the community sometimes if you want to sort of generate your numbers.
Absolutely. When people can come out and see an event like this and see that it's happening at a local level, you're hoping to get a little spark into the game, because when you look at curling, there's not a lot involved in the play, right? You have a pair of curling shoes, a stretchy pair of plants, a curling broom, and for some of us who are suffering of the knees, they even have a stick that you can take and push the stone with if you can't slide out anymore. So it's a game that you can play for a long, long time, just like golf and that. And a game is much about just the participation as it is competitiveness.
Well, and we can see here in the second, and Manitoba's got the same playbook. It's got two in the house.
Yeah, they slid a couple in. New Brunswick's put up a couple of corner guards. This here now is a little different than what we see on TV. This is what we call the 4-rock rule.
Yeah.
So the first
just misses.
Yeah, the first stone that's allowed to throw as a takeout would be the lead shot. The second stone's first shot is the first one that can take out anything in the free guard zone. New Brunswick's playing very aggressive. Ignored the 2 rocks in the house again. Threw up 2 corner guards, and she's trying to get a rock around the corner.
This is Goodwin.
So they haven't put a brush on it, so they're a little concerned about the weight, and it has to curl some because they do want it behind those corner guards. But you see it moving over now.
Yeah, but it's a little heavy here.
Coming to the back of the house for sure. Now she really needs to stick around. Oh no. Okay. So a tough one for New Brunswick, sliding that through, and it gives Manitoba a second chance to chase those corner guards. It's a kind of a they have no problem peeling one. If they try to peel them both, they could run a yellow rock back into the house on one of the reds, but they take that chance just to get the rocks off the front.
Yeah. Off it.
Yeah. So there's one driving it back into the house, so that's
good one. Good one said thank you.
Oh yeah, she was looking both ways. She didn't know where to go there.
There's.
So she's staying fairly aggressive, trying to come around the corner guard again. She could do that or guard her own, but I would come around the corner guard.
Yeah. Well, and it gives her the same shot again.
Yeah, that's right.
So now she probably, hopefully has a little bit better feel this time around.
Yeah. So I always find it a little trickier trying to take a little bit off a rock. I don't mind being short, adding a few feet, but I know she'd really like to see the brooms down right now.
Yeah. I talking with Judy Blanchard, and Judy says, I always was and Judy was a former world senior curling champion. And she had said with Heidi Hanlon there, sort of from New Brunswick. Yeah. And Judy was always a big advocate on having her sweepers involved.
Oh yes.
Right.
Anybody who plays competitive, you want to see the brushes down. It brings all four players into the shot, and nobody really wants to throw a dead stone, because you could put 6 to 8 feet on a stone. Some of the good teams, so some of those teams that we see playing in the men's play. Yeah, oof. These guys,
arms on them, arms like my leg.
Oh yeah,
here comes a nice shot here.
Yeah,
looking for a double. Yes, she got it.
Yeah,
nice shot there.
Nice shot. So that was just where she was heavy and deep again. Gave her the shot at that. Yeah. She was really hoping to get around the corner guard. So they seem to be able to get the corner guards up. They just haven't been able to utilize them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you said, you can always make a rock go further, but you can't do a lot to slow it down.
No. Well, they won't.
Gives that little tap.
So the little tap up, that'll be fine. They only need a little piece there. It's a short run back, but at least it's yellow and yellow. Yeah, now they're discussing putting one on the other side, but
well, they're thinking about it. Let's go around and get the scores of the other sheets.
Yeah, sheet A, we see Alberta playing Quebec, and Alberta picked up one in the first end. On sheet C, we have Nunavut and Northwest Territories, and it's 1-0 in that sheet for the Northwest Territories. So we have some good close games. Over on sheet D, we have Nova Scotia, and they're playing Newfoundland Labrador, and it's 1-0 for the Newfoundlanders. On sheet E, it's Northern Ontario and BC, and BC is up 1-0. And then on sheet F, PEI and the Yukon Territory, and Yukon Territory is up 1-0. So this time they were successful on our sheet, peeling off the corner guard. That stayed there for a while, but it's opened up the house for New Brunswick to, looks like they're going to play a tap on that back rock and try and lay 2 right now, because it is the mate's last rock.
And Manitoba would be happy to if they had to only concede the 1. They would have hammer and they're up 1. So,
but yeah, there's a deuce in play for New Brunswick now because of that corner guard. There's a deuce in play, but they really have to hit and stick on this. So you can see.
Nice shot. You got to hit and roll. It's rolling out.
Yeah, she came across the face of that. You can see in this play, even they're starting to try to use directional sweeping. So you see a lot of 1 sweepers on the side of the rock. Yeah. And there, the New Brunswick sweeper is trying to keep the rock straight. And she just little touch inside because they jumped on it right away. So that chance at a deuce just evaporated. So they have an open hit to clean things up again. So all these teams either came in to town yesterday or Saturday, and the people of the area are so glad to see them. They have things going on all week at the club in the evenings for the curlers and
For the media?
no, well, no.
And volunteers?
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
I think.
Can I just use your name?
We'll just say,
I know Joe.
We'll just say the participants will come first for sure. Yeah, I'm sure that will give you absolutely no drag. So in taking the rock out, Manitoba left the shooter there, so it's going to give Anouk a chance to come around the corner guard again. And once again, if she can make this, Deuce will be back in play. The only thing is then it's their rock to come back. And so they seem to be having a little bit of issue with the ice on that come around. It's they're either leaving it open or
a little heavy, huh?
A little heavy, yeah. They never put a brush to it.
No.
And you can see that it's partially open behind that. A little less weight, and if they had swept that down, they probably could have got it dead behind the corner.
Well, here we are. We're getting down to final shot there for Manitoba now.
She feels she can see half of that rock, so she's just going to take and try and play it down softly, tap it through. So that would be what we call a control weight shot. So she's probably going to throw board weight or a little less at that, so the rock will come up. Yeah, she's touching the back line, so more like hack weight. Just wants to push that through. Obviously, if she could see a little more of it, she'd probably like to tighten the ice up a little bit, throw a little more weight, but it's still fairly open because there's such a gap between the house line in the back 12 and the guard out front. So you can see her down there. She goes through a routine. We all have our own little routines. I used to always wear a ball hat, and I'd adjust my ball hat, and someone said to me, "Oh, why are you always blessing yourself when you throw the rock?"
Well, it's the same thing like in basketball, if or serving in volleyball. Like you know, to bounce the ball 3 times, whatever. Take a breath, relax, take the shot, and you want to keep that routine because that's your calm.
Oh yes.
Right.
Yeah. Everything is you're trying to be
same
automatic.
putting.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Here it is. That's going to
She's
hit.
racking the guard. So New Brunswick will have a chance for an open hit to tie this up.
Or draw.
Oh, she's not going to be drawing.
No. Now that's an interesting thing because we had this discussion one other time, and when you can, well, she just wants to hit. Yeah, I see.
Now, if she was laying one at the back of the house, she'd be foolish to chase that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great chance to get her draw weight a little better. She just threw one to the back of the house. She's probably got a little better feel for the rings.
Well,
she bit one
and
top 12.
If she can hit 12. And stay, they can score 2.
Tie her up, yeah.
And that's, whew.
So it's a new ball game, but all that's really happened is if she does score 2, New Brunswick kind of lost the hammer because they started the game with the hammer.
Yeah.
And now you're playing a 6-end game without, but nothing like a deuce to get the confidence back.
That's right.
Especially after giving up one. So.
Here we go, final shot.
Yeah, she looks like
second end.
Yeah, now they're down on the rock.
Keeping it clean, keeping that line.
Yeah,
they want to hit and stay.
They have to keep it on the high side. They can't cross this at all because then there's a risk of jamming. Crossed it a little bit. She's okay. Got her deuce.
Got her deuce. All tied up, 2-2.
Yeah, so that's a little mini victory there.
Yeah.
And gets everybody else back into the game. Everybody feels a little better. Nothing like a deuce to.
Well, and it's early in, I mean, it's the first draw of the champion. Get used to the ice and whatnot, and there's going to be mistakes.
Oh.
And if you can take advantage of those mistakes, because Manitoba did in that first end, and then Manitoba had a little hiccup in that second, and New Brunswick was able to capitalize, and at least it's even. And now, what do you think? Are we going to put her in? Put her in the house?
I'd be surprised if she went in the house. She played very aggressive the first 2 ends by throwing up some corner guards. So I would be very surprised if she took and
This is
decided to go in.
Louise Richard, the lead for New Brunswick.
And she seemed to have pretty nice draw weight. She threw up a couple of great corner guards, both ends, put them right where the skip wanted them, and this one looks like it's going to split the center line for her, and a nice distance. That 4 or 5 feet out in front of the house gives you lots of room to come around, and should be able to bury a rock dead behind it. And you can see that's what Manitoba's going for. She's disregarding the corner guard option and going straight in.
Yeah. Now, here's a strategy question for you, Joe. By the way, folks, my name is Keith Rains, and I'm in the booth with Joe Hawks, bringing you this broadcast this afternoon by TV1 from the Miramichi Curling Club in Miramichi, New Brunswick. From a strategy standpoint, Joe, do you have a different strategy depending on who you're playing against, or you say this is what we want to do in this game, try it out? Because I know it's Manitoba, like they're coming like in the house all the time.
Yeah, that is probably her preferred style to play. Some teams feel very comfortable with hitting, and so they're going to play in the house.
Yeah.
Other teams feel more comfortable drawing. When you're throwing up a corner guard or you're throwing up a center guard, it's much more an aggressive play.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, she's a little full in this one and a little longer. So
you just
it's
roll it. Yeah, you just roll it up
roll
and
the ball.
back. Right. You go back that way. Go back one. Home in. There. Just roll it.
Roll the button.
Just roll the button.
Yeah. So now we have a counter in there. Just hung out a little. She's a little strong on that, but it's a good aggressive play. And if Manitoba even does get the hit and roll, the rock's deep in the house behind the tee line, and Brunswick will feel comfortable with this. She doesn't really want to roll out, and that's a nice roll for a team with the last rock. New Brunswick pretty much has to hit this in a tied game.
That was Jennifer Costin with that nice shot.
She's not taking much ice in this, so they're expecting very little curl.
It's always the excitement on the first draw. Like there's lots of people running around trying to get things set up, make sure everything's organized. And of course, you get your fan club here too that like to chat with you. So well, we're on the air here. What? That's why we have these headsets on.
Yeah.
That's why there's a camera next to us.
So you saw the second stone for New Brunswick, Julie Goodin. She slid it to the wide side of that a little bit. I know it looked like fairly straight ice, but I saw her going up the other end playing the same way, and seemed to be a little on the full side of the broom. So when it's running that straight and you're a little bit full, there's just no forgiveness. So they're under the gun a little bit, but there is a center guard in play, and the nice thing about the center guard in play is you always have a chance. You can always get in around.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah, she's right on the lid. She's looking to just push this through. If you froze right on top of it, would be a really good shot too, because you're cutting down the scoring area a lot. And this is a little tricky because you do not want to disturb your center guard, and you really can't miss the one in the house. So this is what you call an all or nothing shot.
It's staying out there.
It's
not
staying out there.
No,
yeah.
It's just not moving for her.
Yeah. So I would have really, myself, I would really have liked to seen her just played something right down on top of it. Now she's going to block this off, and you think you were under the barrel before. Now you're really under the gun now. It's just one of those things. I got a lesson in that one time from a guy by the name of Russ Howard. I thought I made a really nice draw. He just parked one right on top of me and said, "There, go ahead, draw to the back of the button." And
Okay, Russ.
Yeah. And I just had to take my one and take my tail between my legs and walk away. So, yeah, but the option's still there. This rock's out there a little ways yet. It may finish up some.
It's coming in tight.
Coming in now. Coming in now.
It gives that a little bump.
It gives it a little bump. So you almost just, yeah, you don't want to play. It doesn't seem to be coming in too much here. When they bring the weight up on the last rock, it didn't curl very much. So if you could just play to this and bump the back rock off it, but the big thing is getting to the nose of the rock in the house. So they're sweeping that.
Courtney Perry.
Yeah, I think they're well
Barry.
by. They're well by. So we're back.
Gets rid of one, and she sticks around.
Yeah, I think a little overswept there. A little bit of panic mode on that one. But like you say, this is the first round of the event. They're not used to the ice. They're not used to the way it runs, and it's always you can't help but be a little nervous your first time out.
Well, and probably the immense pressure that we put on them by you being here, Joe, overlooking every shot.
Yeah. I'm sure they're
the pressure is immense.
Quite bothered by the cameras for sure. Yeah. Who is that guy? Oh, I don't know. So the end's set up really nicely now for Manitoba, and now we're seeing New Brunswick. Yeah, all she has to do is just freeze one right in the top of this right now. You have to cut down the scoring zone, right? You can't do that. She can try it, but it's such a flat roll. The ideal shot is her first idea. That's a great call. She doesn't even have to be right in on it. All she has to be is in the 8 foot, and she outcants 2 of the rocks and cuts down the scoring zone for Manitoba. Sometimes you can almost try to let the other team make a shot for you, so plunking one right in front of that counter would be a superb shot. So she'll feel a little better seeing the brooms down on it, so that means that they think the weight's pretty close, and it is coming in there nicely. She's well around the guard. Yeah, I just stayed right on that because she's going to overcurl some, but that's the right idea.
Yeah, Manitoba still has shot rock.
Still has shot rock, and
New Brunswick is second.
Yeah, she overcurled a little bit and kind of squibbed out the other side, but she's pushed that rock back a little further and made it even more accessible for a freeze and a chance to cut down the curling area. So we'll see what happens here, but you can't throw a tornado and get all 3 of those rocks out. So, and you may be facing 4 here in a second. So they're sweeping this here, trying to get it to curl some.
Yeah.
They're on that straight turn.
She
got a piece. She rolled out. And she's
still sitting 3.
Still sitting 3. Now it's actually a little better for Manitoba because they don't have it dead behind the guard. And
they've got shot rock this end too.
Yeah, they got the hammer, so it's tough times in the Maritimes for the New Brunswick foursome, that's for sure.
Just when you think you dodged a bullet to score 2 in the second, okay.
Yeah. Where was that hammer again? Oh yeah, we gave that up.
Yeah, we gave that up.
Well, a lot of good things can happen here for her. She can hit the wide rock and flop in front of shot rock, which would outcount the other, or she can hit shot rock and roll for a second shot on top of the other corner freeze, which would be really good. It looks like she's just going to try and draw it down and just tap it back just a little bit, or sit just on the inside corner, which wouldn't be bad either. So there's a chance that some good things happening here, but she's definitely put herself under the gun here this end. This is another field shot. You really don't want to push the backing away too far and be exposed and just exchange rocks, because then you're definitely looking at a 3 to give up. So
here's Roy with her shot.
So she really, I
here.
think I get off that a little bit. Yeah, I would have got off that a little bit. She hit and rolled a little bit to the center, but a turn to the outside would have been just as good, especially if she turned in front of the third counter, and she could have laid shot rock, taken a corner of that counter away, which would have eliminated another red rock when I go to take you out. So a little bit of a sweeping error there. Could have just let that come up and come across the face. It would have been a really good throw. Nice weight. She hit her broom and everything, but nerves again.
Oh.
Those are allowed. It's not every time you get a chance to put an NB or an MB on your back.
Yeah.
And bound to be a few nerves. Kreenan's rock's coming down. She's just throwing a nice weight that'll didn't overthrow this. And
she might hit onto her own there.
Yeah, she's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
So they've gotten just an exchange of rocks. The only thing is now that New Brunswick has a great crack at a double here, and you could double that and actually roll behind the center. But it'd be chancy because you'd have to throw a bit of weight.
As they say, give her.
Give her. Yeah. My eyes always kind of lit up when I saw a shot like that.
You mean I can throw it really hard?
Yeah, I like throwing a bomb. Yeah. See, the big boys would be thinking triple.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. You hit there and angle off and take that other one out.
Yeah. Well, a double would be a bonus here. If she gets a double, great. And if she just gets a double, the ice seems very lively, especially in the houses. We've seen them roll out while still making fairly strong contact. So if she could hit like a 2/3 or just a little better of that rock, she could spin across into the 4-foot and clear the 2 rocks. And that would be the double bonus. Right now, the double, she'd be just as happy as could be just getting the double here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, huge.
Yeah.
Because this is the last shot.
Yeah.
Last rock, I should say, for New Brunswick.
Yeah.
It's away.
And
sweepers are on it.
They're on it, yeah. It looks like she might have turned that in a little.
Trying to keep it on that for outside.
Yeah, they got to hit a piece of that. They might get a cross on the other one. No, just past the back of it. Oh, yeah.
And so here is a draw for 3.
Yeah, so close and yet so far. I think she just is a little tight in that because you can see them jumping on that right away, right out of her hand. So she may go back to that trip slide she used the very first throw.
It seemed to be very effective.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, that was definitely nerves there for sure. So she has an open house to draw to. There's nothing in her way. And so she'll get a free shot at a draw, great chance to find draw weight. That's what you want, something that's no pressure, free draw, just a chance to slide out and let one go. And of course, you always feel good when you see the brushes down.
Yep. Last shot of the 3rd end here. The Travelers National Championships.
So
the Mare Machine in Brunswick.
See the 3rd sweeper coming out. Mate coming out of the house. Looks like it's all right.
Just any part of it.
There you go. Look at that. Boys, that's what you want to do for the old skipper too, is sweep it right in on the button if you can.
Well, get the feel, right?
Yeah.
In case you might need it later on.
Great confidence when you see that.
Well, there's some other championships going on over the next little while. The December 5th to 9th in Saskatchewan, we have the 2018 Home Hardware Canada Cup. And then we move along to January 19th, 27th, Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, is the New Holland Canadian Juniors are going to be taking part in Saskatchewan. And also January 17th to 20th is the 2019 World Financial Group Continental Club, and that's in Orleans Arena in Las Vegas.
Yes, I think.
With Joe, are you going down there?
Every year I think about it. I know one of these years I'm going to go because they seem to keep going back.
Okay.
And they seem to have a lot of fun at that.
February 16th to 24th, the Scotties Tournament of Hearts is going to be in the Maritimes here in Center 200 in Sydney, Nova Scotia. So that's the Scotties, February 16th to 24th. And then we move on to March 2nd to 10th. The Tim Hortons Briar is in Brandon, Manitoba. And you were talking about.
Well, I can tell you truly, I already have my tickets.
Okay.
Have the hotel booked, the rental car booked, the flights are booked. So
done.
Yep.
So that's March 2nd to 10th in Brandon, Manitoba. The Tim Hortons Briar. And then finishing off the Season of Champions is March 30th to April 7th. The 2019 World Men's Curling Championship, and that is going to be in Lethbridge, Alberta. So a busy calendar in the world of curling.
Every year it's the same, and if you ever get a chance to go to one of these national events, the curling is sublime. The entertainment is. Few people sneak down to the patch, which is just to reminisce.
Yes.
And well, maybe a sip of something or other, and a little feed, and
tell some more stories.
Yeah. So
I know we had great time when we had the World Ford Women's Championships in St. John there, and the entertainment, the bands and whatnot that was brought in. A great time was had by all.
Oh, yeah, I truly never try to miss anything like that when it's going on. So I didn't go for the whole event there. I went for the first 4 days in St. John and really enjoyed myself. The curling was great. And I always kind of like the first part of those events because every team's in it.
That's right. The excitement.
I remember when St. John had the World Men's.
Yep.
Hammy McMillan won it, and I went to that, and the curling was excellent. So we had a great time. We were sitting in amongst a group of Scotsmen, and a Scotsman won it, so we told them we were great luck.
There's a shot there. Good shot. Now it's 5-2 here.
So New Brunswick changed the strategy just a touch. They do have the corner guard up, but they decided to take that one off the button. See, probably was just a little uncomfortable with two so close to the red, one in the forefoot and one touch in the top. And sometimes you just don't feel that comfortable. So rather than throw up the two guards this time, she did take one off the lid. And so Manitoba's just going to try and exchange stones, keep the pressure on, and
it's curling.
It is. It's moving. Once it starts to go, they do move. So with just the one in the house now, she has the option of going around using a corner guard. And we saw that 2 ends ago. They did get their deuce out of that, and they seem to really like that side. And they got one right on top of the old Tim Hortons cup there. So,
and just looking in the other sheets, Alberta was a blank end there, so Alberta's up 2-1 over Quebec. And we have Northwest Territories up still 2-1 over Nunavik. 2-0 Newfoundland, as they stole one over Nova Scotia. And Northern Ontario's opened up a 3-4-1 lead over BC.
Big steal of 3 there, right?
Yeah. And then in our last sheet there, Prince Edward Island got 2, and they're up 2-1 now over Yukon. And that takes care of Round the Horn.
Yes.
Brought to you by Pizza Delight.
There you go. It's so nice to see all the provincial colors and territorial colors out there. When you go to a Briar, they bring all the teams out for the first game, and you can see them lining up and down the sheet and the jackets, and you can just feel the pride coming off the participants, you know, that they've made it. Because I know we tend to see a lot of the same teams at these events, but it's really something to make it to one of these, and I think you'll see that it's you're going to see people get the same type of feel about this here Travelers. I know we've had a club team here go, and they had a great time at it. And that's part of the reason why we ended up getting a national, because our chairman of the event was the guy who skipped that team. And
it's a shame.
And it's just great to see it come to New Brunswick, and great to see this many teams involved.
Well, I had an opportunity, Sean Ingersoll, sorry, and to go to a few sports tourism conventions when they were in Edmonton and in Toronto, and hosting an event. There's 3 major components to hosting. You got to have a venue.
Yes.
Okay? But then you have to have a local champion, like a Sean, put his hand up.
Yeah.
So you know what? We should go after that event.
Yes.
And then the third important factor in hosting is have a great volunteer base.
Yes.
If you do not have any one of those 3, you can't have an event.
No.
You could have the best venue, and Sean could say, I want it, but you get no one that can help out. Like, look at all the moving parts that we have here this week.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And those are 3 key factors. And then, obviously, the sponsors and sponsorships and whatnot. But venue, local champion, volunteers.
Yes.
And I know, like us in St. John, we hosted the Midget Hockey Championships. Well, did such a great job. The host committee, Aaron Kennedy and his group. Well, a few years later, how about going after the U17 World Hockey Champion, right?
Yes.
And since you had that track record, and you had that great volunteer base, and you had the local champion say, yes, let's go after it. Well, they did, and they won the bid. And last week, a few weeks ago, the U17 hockey was there.
Yeah.
But that's how things happen. If you got venue, beautiful facility here, and you guys hosted many events already out of this place with provincial championships and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of work.
Oh, yes.
To host.
Well, you have to have committed people.
Yes.
And I know Sean had a great crew with him. Everybody that's been involved in the club took on one division of it or another, and I've talked to a lot of the guys that have been involved, and they said it was no issues at all getting people from not just curlers, but people from all over the community thrown in their hat to give a hand. I was talking to a guy downstairs earlier, driving one of the vans, and he said never curled or anything, but someone asked him, and he said, "Why not?
Yeah.
To have a national event here on the river," and everybody expected that would be what would happen too.
Nice shot in there. Count 2.
Laying 2. They've spent their corner guard again this end. They're having a little issue with draw weight. They're having a fight in the ice a little bit, and kind of to be expected a little bit in the first event, first game in an event like this. And it may take a team a few games to kind of get their feet under them. I've never been in a national, but I've played in lots of provincial playdowns, and you'll see as the curlers and the participants get a little bit more familiar with the ice, you'll see a big difference in the shots made when, from the 4th or 5th game from the first game, just because of feel.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, but getting back to the volunteers and whatnot, here's an opportunity for people to be proud of their community, to show off, because you have people coming here, more than likely who've never been here before, like maybe besides the New Brunswick and Nova Scotia group.
Oh yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Right, but the rest, the Albertas, the Manitobas, the Northern Ontarios, this is the first time to maybe be to New Brunswick, and especially being to the Miramichi, so you want to showcase be proud of your community.
Absolutely.
And what better way to do that is host a national event.
So yeah, there's people from all walks of life that are involved. My wife was over at a meet and greet yesterday at the hotel where everybody's staying, and she was talking to a gal from Yukon, and they got into the conversation that they were both pharmacists. So the gal asked my wife if she knew a lady who is a pharmacist from this area up in Yellowknife, and my wife told her, why, yes, in fact, I babysat her when she was a little girl. So So she says she can't wait to get back and tell her. So, you know.
Welcome to New Brunswick, 1 degree separation.
There you go, exactly. From one side of the country to the other, yeah. So maybe when we talk to those folks from the States and they say, oh, I know someone from Toronto, do you? Maybe there's a little bit more to that than we realize, right?
Well, that was a beautiful shot there by Manitoba to split them.
Oh, and she threaded the needle by that back one and rolled, eh?
Yeah.
Great split of the house.
I think maybe a piece of paper was separating that from hitting that red rock.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you catch a little break. New Brunswick's got no choice but to kind of come down and freeze on top of the shot stone. She'd like to corner freeze it a little bit. But the girls are still fighting the ice a little bit. You can see this must be a little long, and it's not coming up like she'd like. Yeah, like I say, it's an awful sick feeling when you slide out and you let that rock go and nobody puts a brush down. So there's a little misread there because it never really came up enough, and a little miss in the weight. But like I say, first game, but home team too, eh?
But still an away game because you're up in the Miramichi. They're not curling out of Moncton, so it's
different venue.
Yeah,
for sure.
Have you had a chance to throw any stones on this ice since Chris was getting it all ready for the national, just to see what it was?
No, I've had a knee prop, so I haven't been throwing any rocks for the last couple of years.
Joe's on the injured reserve list.
That's right. But I've curled on Chris's ice here before in provincial play, and he does a fabulous job with it here.
Now, just for the folks at home, we're on first name basis here with Chris, but Chris Tapley?
Chris Tapley, yeah. He's the head ice maker for the province for Curl New Brunswick. And Chris has had the advantage of being able to go away and help out in some of these big national events.
And international.
Yeah, he's sought after now. He's very, very good at what he does.
We call him the Iceman.
Yeah, they're the New Brunswick's Iceman, yeah. And
it's amazing he doesn't have carpal tunnel problem because he's the one that's going to have the tank.
Yeah, he's the man with the wand.
With the wand, and he's flicking that back and forth and that's an art form in itself. To put what's the proper term now? The pebble.
Pebble on the ice, yeah. And they have different nozzles on the can depending on the ice. They can put on a heavy pebble, a lighter pebble, and Chris likes coming here. Darwin McAllister is our local ice maker, and they work very well together. Darwin says he picks up lots of great tricks from Chris, and the facility is such that Chris knows when he comes here he has something really nice to work with. So
here's the last shot.
Yeah, this is a big draw now. She's really trying to keep New Brunswick in it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the girls stay right down hard on this because she's cut her ice, and if she's cut the weight, they have to keep it on the inside of that rock. So girls, don't stop working, girls. Don't stop working. And I think she did make the tap for one, so that's a very nice throw. Very nice throw.
So we're going to take a break here.
Yeah, they're cleaning the ice in the fourth end break.
They're going to clean the ice and give a little spray, so we'll be back in a few minutes for the fifth end from the Miramichi Curling Club at the 2018 Travelers Curling Club Championship.
Great job.
My daughter used to say, Dad, you can talk to them.
Yeah.
That's right. One of the best lines I ever heard that was from Collie Sack. You know what Collie is? Yeah. So we're out golfing, and Collie says to this guy, he says, we stop talking. The guy says, no, we're in talking. That's what I would go through. If you go through Travelers on the website, you'll find the feed on it.
Oh, is it?
It's no forward. below us or right on us?
Well, this I get one just from St. John's Rapids.
Runs the line right through.
It's supposed to rain in Nova Scotia and snow along up to maybe up to Fredericton. 15 to 20.
We'll see what happens. I'll take some dust.
Someone finds a way and 20 seconds.
What's that?
Someone farts a grand. Changes the air currents.
Yeah. Do you know what the password is for the bear machine?
So how you enjoying time? Yeah.
Yes. There was no wrong, but I never missed one.
No, you don't.
Oh,
You've never missed a throw
down
behind the glass.
all the broadcasting channels. I was going to go
Did you ever do it? Maybe 3 bars in Halifax.
Remember they used to have TSN
Skins game?
Skins game
Yeah.
in Bathurst, which are
Yeah, yeah,
famous.
yeah. So we were over in Newfoundland 2 years ago when Lucy won it.
Oh,
I went with Claire and I, Claire's sister, me and David and I.
yes, yes.
And we had a really good time.
Yes,
And
I saw a lot of it.
yeah, oh, it was something to see.
I was walking around the beach and on its last shot. I wouldn't even know.
I recorded it on my iPad. And someone said to me, "You're jostling awful bad." I said, "Well, I'm waving aside, flipping a Newfoundland flag, banging it." But it was something to see.
Do these automatically go back to the normal time after the time?
Yeah. It's toxic.
What's that? Some M's and I's and A's.
Yeah. There was a site up and they had spelled it wrong and my son was out in Winnipeg and I told him about the site. He says, "You didn't notice that they spelled the Mary machine wrong?" I said, "Yeah, I know. But we say A so much so it's okay for them to miss an I and an A." They had 2 A's instead of 3 I's. So,
Now, do you know about the Curling Canada Foundation?
no.
Fine. I'd say that for Darren when he comes on.
Who are you with this evening?
I have no idea.
Because you're going pretty much all the time.
I'm here.
Oh,
Eddie.
Eddie Pinder.
Eddie Pinto, yeah, the rock.
Eddie's good. I go golf trip with him. So we're starting up again.
Okay.
So our first rocks along the way. New Brunswick's starting it on. Okay. Yeah, go home end, far end. Oh, there you go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2018 Travelers Curling Club Championship from Miramichi, New Brunswick, and the Miramichi Curling Club. My name is Keith Rains, and I'm in the booth with Joe Hawks, and we're bringing you Manitoba and New Brunswick. And New Brunswick scored 1 in the 4th end, and Manitoba's up 5-3 with the hammer. Joe.
With the hammer, yeah. So New Brunswick's kind of behind it, so they'll. You'll see them play a lot more aggressive, and you're going to see Manitoba try to draw the play into the house full out for the rest of the game. So it'll be make or break now the next couple ends. Either New Brunswick's going to get back into it, or they're going to see Manitoba disappear over the horizon. So.
Yeah. And these games are 8 ends in length. In the other sheets, in the women's place afternoon so far, Alberta and Quebec are in a battle, 2-1 at the end of 4. We have Nunavik and Northwest Territories all tied up 2 apiece. Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, Battle of Atlantic Canada, 2-1 Newfoundland after 4. 4-3 Northern Ontario and BC. And last but not least, Yukon and Prince Edward Island all tied up at 2. So lots of tight games going on around the Horn, Joe.
Yeah, it's nice to see good, tight, close competition. BC's getting back into their game, and we see a deuce coming up now for Alberta and Quebec, so it's 4-1 there.
Yeah.
There's a steal at
just
the 4th end.
Slow. Those scorekeepers
they were
a little slow there.
Yeah, missing the notch a little bit, so that's all right. So
Alberta stole 2 in the 4th.
Yeah, so you'll see those teams that are behind now. They've had 4 ends to get the feel of the ice. They're going to come out and come right after it. New Brunswick's throwing up the second guard. Manitoba's throwing the second one on top of the other one on the side of the rings. So one team's trying to draw the play into the house. The other team is trying to make sure that they get something happening up front. So the second stone for New Brunswick, good. Now she's been fighting the draw weight a little bit, but she's probably glad to see they've got the brushes down on this. They're trying to let it curl a little bit, and hopefully this will hide. It's moving well for her, and it's going to be game on here in end number 5. Nice come around. She's nice and high in the house.
She'd be happy with that.
Yeah. Can't see much of the stone.
I get a kick out of her expression. It was almost like, finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this is what they want. They're going to keep attacking by coming around that front. They've got a nice front established, and you won't see them go away from this end. They really can't afford to.
And we have to give a shout out to JNL Truck Recycling, one of the key sponsors of Team Manitoba. And there's a rumor that they might get more money next year from them.
There you go.
That's what I mean. Just a rumor.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They're going over their sponsorships for next year, and they're really expecting Truck Recycling to really step it up.
Okay. Well,
their head guys here, right?
Okay. So
we're putting some pressure.
Getting a couple of mentions.
Yeah.
So they made a nice pick of that rock coming out of the rings and rolled out. So Goodand's going to try and replace it, maybe bury it just a little bit more. You see them off and on this now, and when they're walking and waiting, you're a little worried. She doesn't want to go deep because now you're going to see them clean the front up a little bit. So a little bit of a miss there by New Brunswick. Really had to be up in the top of the rings. When you're in the top of the rings, there's something you can do with the rock, and the only spot they can go in at the back of the rings is in behind the hack, and you don't want that. So she's going to try and open up the front a little bit here by taking off one of these front stones. Here we go. Here's a peel by Manitoba. It's a good separation on the stone, so really she can only get one of the guards. If she got both, she'd be leaving her shooter anyway. So open it up and open up play. Nice play by the Manitoba second.
Michelle Buchanan.
And New Brunswick's going to try and come back into the rings.
And it's great that you folks can tune in this afternoon to watch, you know, friends, family members back home, maybe back home in Moncton, New Brunswick, or Manitoba, or maybe some people are fortunate enough to be in warmer climates. Because we were talking about the weather, and winter has definitely hit early here in the Maritimes this year. So if you are in warmer climate, good for you.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was a pretty drive up. I was coming up from St. John today, and the trees all covered in snow, and the road was bare.
Yes.
So that made me happy.
Yeah, much easier.
Much easier traveling.
Yeah. Everybody's got their winter tires on good and early this year.
And it's funny, when you put snow on the ground, all of a sudden the retail sector, as you well know, because you have your own little business going, that you find a jump in business when the snow hits the ground.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, Christmas is coming.
Yes, absolutely. We're almost like the tire business with my little store. So
Yeah.
we hate to see a little early snowfall. It's kind of, some people call it white gold. White gold.
Yeah, white gold.
So when you're talking about the team from Manitoba getting sponsorships, I have a son that lives out in Winnipeg, and the hamlets in Manitoba are spread wide and far, so there's lots of driving to go anywhere.
Yes.
He used to, when he first went out, lived up in a spot up by Thompson called Cross Lake, and it's about an 8.5 or 9 hour drive north of Winnipeg, and he's in Winnipeg now, but when you're in Manitoba, you drive.
Yeah, and LaSalle, the curling club that the ladies are from, is just 10-15 minutes supposedly outside of Winnipeg, so it's not too bad in that regard. But yes, any place, I talked to some hockey, junior hockey teams and stuff, and driving long drives.
Oh, long drives out there. I've driven out a couple times, and you can tell when you hit Manitoba. You come out of the rocks on Ontario, and bang.
The Canadian Shield.
Yeah, no overpasses there. Not in Manitoba. You can see the dog coming for the next 4 miles. Or sorry, I guess I should say 6 kilometers.
Well, New Brunswick's got two rocks in play currently.
Yeah, they're putting a little pressure on. They made a nice double on the side and rolled across, and then got a chance to come around on a hit and roll out. So forcing Manitoba to try and come in on top of that, and fairly aggressive play up to, you'd see a lot of teams probably where that's in the back of the rings just hit that front rock. So the brooms are down, they're trying to bring this in. She wants to be
working hard.
Yeah, she wants to be right on top of it. She doesn't really want to guard it, and that pretty much acts like a guard for them. She's probably, it's in a good spot for them to tap, but I think you'll see New Brunswick try to be aggressive here. She can come around the guard on the other side, on the outturn side. And when you're down 2 after 4 without the hammer, you have to be aggressive. Now this is that turn that seems to run that little bit straighter, so we'll see if she can get enough curl out of the ice to bring it in there. But even if she puts it in front, I know making her take one is a bit of a victory, but she really does have to try and steal.
Manitoba's next draw will be in the 6th draw, from what I see here, tomorrow night at 7:30.
Yeah, they must have this must be a 2-pool system where 7
we haven't
teams
had a
in each
chance.
pool.
I think the big draw sheet is downstairs, so we'll take a closer look at it. And they're playing Newfoundland, and they'll be on, hey, sheet 2. Us again. Well, I'm here. I don't know about you, Joe.
What time?
7:30 tomorrow night.
Okay. No, I am.
Excuse me. They're
yes.
They're playing Newfoundland.
Yeah, I am 7:30 tomorrow night. I'm not sure where I am though. I may be on sheet 2 or sheet 5.
And New Brunswick plays PEI at 7:30 tomorrow night, and they be on sheet 6. So
okay.
They'll
I'm doing the Newfoundland game, I guess.
Okay. Oh, you're over there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'll be here at 4, but I'll be.
Oh.
I'll be here at 4, but I'll be over there at
Okay.
the second game.
Fine.
Too much of a good thing for everybody.
So that's the next game, folks. For you Manitoba folks tuning in, it'll be 7:30 Atlantic time, and playing Newfoundland. And for you New Brunswick fans, they're playing Prince Edward on sheet 6. So you can tune in to the men's game, Newfoundland and Northern Ontario on sheet 5, and you might be able to get some. You might be able to see a little bit of action going on sheet 6.
There you go. So New Brunswick came up quite long in the guard, so Manitoba decided to just come around everything. She's going to try and come around her own in the top 12. It's partly covered, so it's pretty hard to tap it straight back. So it looks like she's just decided to come right around it and try and nestle one into the top of the 4-foot. Anything around her top guard is perfect, because for New Brunswick to hit it, they'd be driving it at their own rock.
Yeah, skip stone here.
Yeah. First skip stone for Manitoba. So looks like they're probably going to be tapping here.
Yeah,
I can't see it getting by. And it's going to tap it a little thin, so I don't think they got shot rock out of it.
Nope.
And a great chance for New Brunswick just to throw one just to the left of the center line and kind of block everything up.
Manitoba's second and third shot.
Yeah. If she can cover about 2/3 of that rock and still take away the center line, it'd be a really nice shot. You can't take away everything. That's when you have to be of one mind and say, okay, this is what I want to do. And it looks like she's going to try and cap one of the, I think that's third shot down there. Make it hard for her to try and tap that up for shot rock.
And doesn't want to take out her own in
No.
the back there.
No. Yeah.
As they say, the catcher's back there. Don't want to catch anything.
Yeah. Well, she'll be playing pretty quiet weight at this. She'd be trying to just throw something into the, maybe just bite in the top of the house or just in front of the house to make any kind of tap back hard. She wants to kind of inconvenience the shot. The easiest thing for Manitoba would be to tap up their own on the left side of the sheet. So if she can block that, always try and make it simple for yourself. Try to, if there's an obvious shot, take away the obvious shot. Hard enough without making it harder on yourself. She looks like she's a little tight, but she's a little long, so they're not touching it. If she is long, they be nice to communicate that, because you might be able to bring this right into the 4-foot. And I think they're seeing that now, and she's coming in, and now New Brunswick is laying 2.
Yep.
So
shot.
Yeah,
if that was the shot.
Yeah, I think
you got to have plan A, plan B.
I think we saw plan B coming into fruition there. It's curled into a lovely spot. I think she got just a little. No, she didn't touch the stone, so she just went right through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think at first she was calling the guard, but they realized she was a little heavy and a little inside, so.
Let's make a little adjustment there.
Yeah, she got apple, she made applesauce. And she's forcing Manitoba to do the exact same thing. She's seen the shot, and she knows she just has to be there with the weight, but, you know, it's easy to see it, another thing to do it, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
we see lots from up here.
Oh, we never miss up here. I've yet to miss one up here. They say if you miss a shot from behind the glass, you're going to lose the microphone.
Steve Thompson, you know Steve?
Yes.
From St. John. Steve, as always, he says, well, my theory is give up one when you get one when you don't have the hammer, or score. I'll get it.
What you're going to say is give up one when you don't have the hammer,
and
score
2
with
the hammer.
Yeah.
And he says if you have that strategy,
yeah,
you should win a lot of your games.
the only problem with all that is
only give up one.
Everybody has that strategy. So she's got a little wick and roll. Her weight is nice, and she took the point. Nice throw. Nice throw.
A little bit of pressure there.
A little
but you know
bit of
what
pressure
helped
there.
her? was that last. Remember, she had that easy draw.
Yeah.
And she got her draw weight down.
Put it right in the pin. Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's always nice to have that in your back pocket, isn't it?
Look at nothing beats having draw weight.
Yeah.
Nothing beats having draw weight.
And it's good earlier on.
Oh yeah.
To have an opportunity to throw a few draw. And
absolutely.
So. At the time she drew that, it was no pressure because it was an easy.
Yeah.
But still, it's good to have that feel, right?
Got the feel. I had a guy tell me one time we played him in the first end of a game and had to throw into the 4-foot and was lucky enough to make it. And he says, "Oh boy, you're lucky." And I said, "Yeah, I got that lucky about 80 times this afternoon too." So.
As far as the schedule goes, folks. At 6:15, there will be opening ceremonies, and we'll be back on the air for the 7:30 draw. And on our sheet, we're going to have the men's give us a little show. Saskatchewan taking on Northern Ontario. And then first thing in the morning, we have the men back on, Quebec taking on Manitoba. So if you folks from Manitoba want to tune in for that one, that'd be 9 a.m. Atlantic time, and representing the men from Manitoba, let's just see here, is a Fort Rouge Curling Club. So they'll be on prime time.
And you're going to see some great curling out of those teams too. These guys play out there and they play a lot, and yeah, you'll be really entertained. Just like the ladies here, you do see the ladies making some lovely shots, and it's because it's club curling, but these are good club curlers.
Well, yeah, and they all probably have quite good resumes.
Yes, yeah.
And just due to work commitments, family commitments, and stuff, they can't commit maybe as much as want to. So let's play club, let's play in our league, let's.
Absolutely.
And still have that competitive spirit.
Absolutely. To actually play competitive curling now, you're looking at practicing pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And bondspieling almost every weekend. Huge commitment.
Yeah.
And but it's still a game that most of us that play it love it. So I've always enjoyed club play. I think it's it's the lifeblood of any club.
And you play mixed too?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. A lot of fun playing mixed curling.
Good shot right up there.
Yeah.
Little tap.
So again, we see New Brunswick putting up front guards and Manitoba bringing the play into the house. That was a little minor victory for New Brunswick because it was kind of nice to hold them 2-1. And if she can pick up a deuce here, it's game on again. Yeah. So doing the right thing by throwing up a corner guard. This time, New Brunswick's trying the other side of the sheet. And first time they've seen them go to this side. And
it's coming in there.
Really nice curl on this side of the sheet. So she might have found something here because they seem to be fighting the line and the weight on the other side. So, and this curl up so much has popped out the other side. So quite a bit of curl there.
And it was interesting now how curling is trying to be promoted in other countries around the world. So they've gone to the two game.
Yes.
Right.
The mixed doubles.
Mixed doubles, and one of the bigger reasons. First of all, it's hard to get some countries to have 4 curlers, and to have a lot of teams with 4 curlers, where it's a lot easier 2 curlers.
Yeah.
And to try to grow the game, right?
Yes.
Internationally. Here, let's get rid of that guard. Take that. Got quite a little picket fence going here now.
Yeah, well, they got some nice little yellows all in a row.
Reds.
Reds, rather, yeah, and they're lined up a little too nice. So New Brunswick would like to just kind of rattle those 2 around the house, and she doesn't have to make the double here, but what she'd really like to do is save her shooter. So she's giving her not much ice, so I think she's expecting some weight.
It's a good one.
Yeah. And she's gonna get a chunk of this for sure.
Oh, it
And
replaces hers. It's going to keep
okay,
it.
though.
Oh,
She
look
stuck
at that
around.
girl
She
back in.
Stuck around, yeah. She got the flip back. So
Yeah.
yeah, really, it was a. You do have to. New Brunswick needs a deuce, but they do have to score this end, and by leaving those 3 rocks there, you just couldn't ignore them. You'd end up not being able to score. So she didn't want to give herself too big a hole deep in the end, and there's still a great chance for a deuce here. So always keep your deuce open, and you can't burn down the barn just yet. lots of rocks left to come.
Going after this one. Going to get a hit.
Yeah, she's got it.
It's going to roll out.
Yeah, very lively house. You need to hit a fair bit of the rock to stick around. So New Brunswick's going to use the rocks that are in play again. You're not going to see them play the takeout this time.
These rocks, where'd they come from?
They're from the club.
They are from the club.
Yeah.
Are they fairly new ones, or?
Yes, and they're all now you see inserts in the rocks, so
Right.
they all have their new inserts. I know we used to always find that the rocks on sheet E here were a little bit slower. Everybody said it was the ice that was slower, but we'd say, no, come on, and we'd take the rocks over another sheet. But having them sharpened for provincial play and being used that way, now they run pretty close to the same right across. So having provincial play here has actually improved the club because it's changed the rocks around some.
Right.
I know there's guys that play fairly competitive, and they have rock books even for the different New Brunswick clubs.
Wow.
Yeah. Grant Ottershaw, who played with Russ Howard.
Yeah.
Grant would have every rock in the province pretty much logged.
Keep that clean.
Yeah, every chance they get, they're going to open it up. And New Brunswick's decided to bring the play right into the house. A guard wouldn't have been a bad call here. Once you get into the house, then the chance of rollout and the chance of making a double against you is increased. But she's decided to bring the play right in, so it's a chance to lay 2, but it's going to be hard to keep the 2 intact because there's still 6 more rocks to come. So.
I don't want to keep that line.
Yeah, they have to keep that from crossing. And now they don't mind if it crosses a hair. And, yeah. So they get a little separation. So
the double is there, though.
The double is there. If that curls up another quarter to half an inch, it scoots right out there into the 12-foot, and there's no double. So. But you give a team a lot of chance to arrange a double by coming into the house like that and playing in so soon. So I think we have a hit and maybe a rollout on this one.
Yeah.
So now she has a chance to spread her house out. She'd like to get as much separation between the 2 rocks as she can. It's a little deep, so it's hard to put them even in the house, but anywhere on that side of the sheet would make an awful tough double.
And you know what? I mean, from a viewer at home watching this, you like to see it, some misses and stuff, because that's, you never take, like when you're watching on TV, it's like automatic.
Yeah,
like,
it's almost too perfect.
Yeah, it's too like this is real.
Yes.
There's a good shot. When a good shot's made, but there's an opportunity here. Yeah. Now she just wants to be biting.
Yeah, and she's got what she wants.
Yep.
She has a really nice
Beautiful
throw
spot.
there. Great spread in the rocks. Probably forcing Manitoba just to play shot stone. And the nice thing about playing over here is New Brunswick will end up with great separation for the rest of the end. Yeah, you don't, when you get watching it on TV, you don't see...
You don't realize how difficult it is sometimes.
Yeah, you don't see the flashes.
They're making it look too easy.
Yeah.
Shout out to some of our major sponsors here that's helped out with this event, as the Town Auto Group, Town Ford, Town Chrysler, Town Mazda.
Yeah, they've donated the vans to drive the teams around for the week.
Yeah.
So they have eight Grand Caravans that are chauffeuring our squads back and forth from the hotel to the club, and volunteer drivers. So thank you very much, Town Auto Group.
Yes, and obviously the city of Miramichi and the province of New Brunswick.
Yeah, there's lots of, it takes a community, like you're saying, volunteers, businesses, everything, to make this go, and they are making a go of it. So we see here Manitoba try to group the rocks a little more by hitting and flopping over a little bit. Unfortunately, she rolled a little too far, and now New Brunswick gets another great chance to spread the rings. And you see the skip move the broom over a little bit. She's got good separation now, so she can give herself a nice chunk of the rings to put the rock into. She doesn't have to flirt with the outside edge too much. Anything over on the other side of the sheet, other side of the center line, would be just fine.
Well, and we talked about, from a sports tourism, the great thing about sports tourism is 12 months of the year.
Yes.
Right? As we all know, there's events going on from January to December. And here we are, the middle of November, and we got a national event in the Miramichi. You got 14 women's teams, 14 men's teams. As we can see upstairs here and downstairs, there's family and friends that have come along to support the players. So you're probably looking at maybe a couple hundred extra people coming to the Miramichi for 6-7 days. Representatives from Curl Canada. We have officials here. So it's a great influx of business to this area in November.
And I can tell you the local curling fans around the area too love to watch things that go on in the club. So anytime we've ever had a provincial ladies or men's, there's always a pretty good group of local folks.
Well, we've seen your fan club here already. They have to wait to the end of the broadcast to get autographs and stuff and get pictures taken with Joe.
Yeah, that being said, though, you will see, a good group of folks, local people coming in and watching, especially when we get around to the playoffs at the other end. Yeah. But you'll see people dropping in tonight now after work to watch the games, and there'll be some little bit of a fan base built up over the weekend. There'll be a good crowd downstairs. They have tiered seating down there, so if you're in the Miramichi area, stop by the club and you get a great chance to see some good curling. And you don't get a chance to see an event like this very often. And you can see now that the game's gone on, New Brunswick has found their draw weight very well too. It's a little tough at the start. It kind of set the tone for the game with that steal of 2 in the first. But here we go. She's got a chance to draw for 2 and a great chance to tighten it right up.
Yeah, 6-5, and then anything can happen.
Anything can happen in the next half hour. And they used to say that with Batman.
Again, if you're just tuning in, these games are 8 ends in length. So, and they go really fast, and the strategy is obviously a little different when you're playing 10 ends to get 8 ends, because you don't want to.
The rope's a little shorter, that's for sure. Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't know that curling games started out as 12 ends, right?
Oh,
so we've gone from 12 down to 10, and I can remember in club play when we used to play 10 ends.
Yeah.
And then it went down to 8 ends in club play. So this is like we say, these are teams that play competitive in the club, but they're not competitive teams. So 8-end game's a nice length for them, and that's what they're used to in club play, and they're carrying it on through here. So terrific on them, and it looks like we're going to tighten up our game here on sheet B. They were down on it a little bit, now they back up off it. Always makes the skip feel good.
Beautiful, look at that, right on the umbrella.
Yeah,
the Traveler's umbrella.
Yeah, she covered the pin.
It's better under the umbrella.
There you go. Or on top of it anyway.
On top of it anyway.
Yeah.
So there we are, got 2 for 6-5.
6-5, yeah, we got ourselves a curling game now. That didn't seem like much, but holding them to 1 last end was a little bit of what we call a minor victory. So now we have a deuce to tighten up our end, and a little more entertainment for everybody watching at home and at the club.
Yeah, we don't want you to just leave that screen yet.
There you go. Lots of curling left.
Either watching it on your iPhone or your iPad or your computer, or maybe some people get really keen and they get the cable and they hook it up to the TV set.
That's what I do at home.
Do you? Oh yeah. I bet you. I could see that, Joe.
HDMI cord, and I have it on the big 65-inch. Yeah.
Let's watch it on the big screen, dear.
Yeah. I watch as much curling as I can all winter long, and it's a great TV game. You see people involved in this here that have never thrown a rock, but they'll never miss a game. So And we're seeing our other sheets. We had a blank in 5, and it's still 4-1 for Alberta over Quebec. But
there's a ton of rocks in play in their sheet.
Yeah, Quebec's coming to play this end. I'll tell you, boys. There's it's loading up there hard and fast. We have.
Put it this way: there's no rocks that are not in play.
Yeah.
Every rock has been thrown is in play.
Yeah,
on the Alberta Quebec side.
And I've seen that happen. We saw an 8-ender one time where there was all the rocks in play, and one guy decided to throw a duster down, and it picked something and actually tapped one of the opponent's rocks into the house, so the guy had a free draw for 8. So the guy kind of walked down the sheet, put his grip around, and went home. A nice throw here, though, coming into just nestle on top of that. Right, they're not panicking. There's lots of rocks in play, but if you're the other team down 4-1, this is what you want to see.
Yeah.
So you come down and hit a little bump and flop, get rid of the backing there. Just a little tap and flop, just enough to move the backing off and expose that rock. It's game on. And on our sheet here again, we have New Brunswick out in front and Manitoba coming around. So the same pattern is falling into N7 as every other end in the game. And again, it's game on.
Nice shot inside there.
Yeah, she came around her center guard nicely.
Top of the floor.
Yeah, they can't take off the center guard, and it's she's just going to play into the house. So you always look at curling game as a series of little victories. So if you get something that goes well for you, you're more than happy. And even though Manitoba had the rub of the green the first 5 ends, it's nice to see New Brunswick make a game with the last little bit. Absolutely.
Speaking of that, Newfoundland is up 3-1 over Nova Scotia still. It's 4-2. It's at Nunavik and Northwest Territories.
Yeah.
Northwest Territories up 4-2. Northern Ontario and BC all tied up at 4s.
Yeah, BC was down 4-1, so they fought back well there.
Yeah. And Yukon and PEI 4-2 Yukon.
And PEI with the hammer. So
yeah. I always feel like when I'm doing that, it's like election results.
Yeah.
Just in.
Yeah.
From Ward 5.
Well, that's because it's changing as we go.
Yeah. Let's look at the ticker.
Yeah. So now we see they came around the whole works. New Brunswick doesn't mind this. Everything's back behind their rocks. She's elected to come down to shot rock. A little firmer than she wanted. I don't think they have to worry too much about taking things out of play when they're back behind the tee line. Not this early in the end. There's lots of curling left. Yeah. You don't want to jump too soon. But it'll make for a very entertaining end and finish to our game. In fact, Manitoba's decided now to take a little time out. You got your clock off. Your clock's off. Your clock's off. It's okay. Their clock's off. So now they realize, yeah, we're in a little bit of panic mode there for a minute, but yeah. So while we're in the timeout, going to discuss a little the strategy, see what they want to do for the rest of the end, get everybody on the same page, and it's also a chance for the New Brunswick team to talk about what they'd like to do for the end.
Yeah. Travelers, here's a little something. You protect the house, let us protect your home. Visit travelerscanada.ca to use and prepare and prevent tips and tools to keep your family safe at home and on the road. Travelers Canada is proud to support Canadian curling.
Yeah, and boy, we're glad to have them. Like I said to you earlier, this is just a terrific, terrific event. And, great for the teams to get out. I see, I didn't notice in the other sheets, and I should have been looking, but I see the Quebec team actually has brooms with the Quebec flag on it. You see that always
Yes.
at the Briar, so you know, or at the Scotties. So kind of nice.
Yeah. Now, would that be something that their provincial association?
When you go
Had
to
them, or-
when you go to a Scotties, I know you can get them.
Yeah.
This year, I think you're just supplied with the uniform, but
Yeah.
I think I'd be some tempted if I was going to a national event to buy the provincial colors. I
Yeah.
see the same thing over in Nova Scotia. So, and you do you can buy these brooms, and I know some of the associations get a little bit back from buying the provincial colors. So, chance to represent the province.
So the timeout has been taken, and the decision has been rendered.
Oh yeah, they're taking off the front.
Yeah.
Which
Just
when
peel it away.
when you're up one without, that
Keep
should
it
be
clean.
a given. That should
Open
be a
her
given.
up.
Yeah, absolutely. Make them replace the rock. Oh, she's decided to come in the house. I'm not sure. I think there's an awful lot of end here. We're still in the second stones. I think really great chance to get. She's going to play this with weight. I'm not really sure of that call. I know all the armchair curlers back in curl land and live streaming land. I won't say TV land will be wondering about this, because even if you make the shot, it doesn't leave you in great stead, right? And
There you
she's
go. She
definitely
got
going to
lots of
make the
weight.
shot. She's hit it with a band and she's killing all
Well,
the
got
rocks.
it. Took them out.
Yeah, yeah. Won the skirmish, but not great for the war.
Yeah. Now, so we got 3 New Brunswick stones in.
Nothing out in front, though.
Let's see here. It looks like there's room for a double there.
Looks like it'd be a fairly steep double. Yeah, that's a pretty
Tight.
tough double.
Yeah.
Pretty
It'd
steep.
be
You'd
nice
have to
if
hit.
it was up a little further.
Yeah, you'd have to hit less than a
Just
quarter
a
rock.
thin,
Quarter
very
rock.
thin, yeah.
Yeah, and the problem with that is you're going to lose your shooter.
Yeah. So she just want to tap
Yeah, she's
that
going
out.
to hit this.
No.
See, yeah, see. So that was even
In
less.
that
That was
quarter-
about that was
in a
about an
quarter
eighth of
inch.
a rock. Eighth
Yeah.
of a rock on that, and that was a tough shot. Probably a little easier shot would have been just to try and hit and just roll in front. New Brunswick's looking at putting something in front, really something up top 12.
Yeah.
That's a much nicer spot for the stone. Make the run back a little tougher. If she can just cover that back rock, then we've got game on again.
Now you might have been that last shot might have been went to Goodwin's strength. Like she seems to take out better than
Yeah.
right. So maybe the skips that let's go with her strength there.
Yeah. You have to play with the hand that's dealt you, and she knows her throwers. She
Yeah.
knows her team.
And there's a perfect spot there.
Yeah, and they've put a really nice rock in play, and it's making them think they're going to try and play the run back. They've got 3 or 4 different options there. She's called. So
What's the book say on how to steal a point
well
without hammer?
Yeah, well, it's guards out front.
Yeah.
But for New Brunswick here, they get a victory just by keeping them to 1 again, right?
Yep.
Leaves the.
Oh, she misses that one.
Yeah, she hit the stop stone.
Yeah.
Didn't touch anything in the house. It's a victory for them just to.
Be within.
Yeah, that's what you want. Get 1, give 2. And I'm not sure if they played a ties here or is there an extra end. Or
I think there'd be an extra.
I would think so. Yeah. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Quiz. Yeah. There'll be a quiz on this at the end.
Keith and I don't mind. We get time and a half in the extra ends.
Yeah, right. Because I'm not hungry or anything. I pass hunger on the way here.
Okay.
I was going to have lunch up here because they said the little restaurant make great burgers and everything, just like fresh. Great. Then I got here and Brian start running cable. So, hey, I need your help, Keith. I went,
I can truly tell you that the cheeseburgers at the Miramichi Curling Club are as good
cheeseburger.
any I've ever had. It seems like they have a little bit of bacon into the grill, and it just gives it that flavor.
Okay, now you make me really.
My wife knows that I will be Definitely having a few cheeseburgers this week, and maybe a golden pop to wash it down. So now we see the same scenario. We have the center guard up, and they're going to play the run back
higher
again.
this time.
A little higher, yeah.
But she's just going to peel it off.
She just played a straight peel that time. She probably would have liked to have driven it on to second shot and maybe seen if she could get things moving in the house, but she's going to take what she got.
Yeah. Because she could have hit it and stuck.
Yeah. Oh.
Right?
Yeah. You don't
get rid of a guard and replace it with a guard.
You don't like those nose hits on the guard, no. So again, we'll see New Brunswick try to cap this off, and I'm pretty sure she'd like to be in the top of the rings with this.
I can remember when I went to the Canada Games, and one of the most sought after pins was the Manitoba, the Golden Bison.
Oh yeah,
they had them. That was sort of at the Canada Games village. That was like the one to get. I don't know if maybe Manitoba didn't bring enough of them or what, but they were the collector's ones.
Oh yeah. Well, you can always. Everybody likes to go after the places with the nice pins, and trading pins used to be a big thing in the game of curling.
Oh.
We used to have an Atlantic playdowns, and it was for adult curlers who had less than 8 years experience. And it was a lot of fun, and what you did was you brought pins from your club to trade with the other teams. And I went to it a couple of years, and we were down in Amherst one year, and we had a nice young team from the Mayflower in Halifax, and they said they didn't realize about the pin trading tradition, so they were saying, oh, we had really nice pins, and we teased them a little bit. We said, yeah, you know, guys, of all the pins we got here, we like yours the best. Anyway, the young lad threw up his hand and said, well, we didn't know what to do. I said, if I was in your boat, I said, I would have bought a bunch of Amherst Curling Club pins and given them out. But that's just a little hint for next time, right? But you see pin traders at the bar, they have some fabulous pins everywhere, right? So New Brunswick got caught a little bit. They took a little more ice for their guard that time. I think maybe she thought she would come in a little deeper, but she left it out front and didn't cover anything in the house, so she's left her an open takeout. But all's not lost. You're still going to have a center guard, and she has to hit that and stay. And she wouldn't even mind if she rolled behind the center guard, because then she could draw on top of it. You have the cover of the guard, and the fact that it's behind the tee line, so it's a freeze. So yeah, New Brunswick still has a chance to play offense in the end, regardless of what happens here. So the Manitoba ladies are on it right hard right away and trying to keep it straight. And she's got the hit and the flop, but she's going to roll too far.
Yeah,
that is a lively house. Very lively house. So New Brunswick's going to have a chance. New Brunswick's going to hold them one for sure. And when you started in, that's what you were hoping for. So, so long as she's in the rings, she'll hold her to one. If she makes a really good shot, we might see them even Steven coming home. Now she had great guard weight in her last rock, and she did throw one right on the umbrella. So we're expecting New Brunswick to make this draw. And the BC skip. She's had lovely draw weight. Deb's been right on the rings the whole game too, so expect to see a couple of nice shots here in the last two shots of the end.
So are you doing any coaching now?
Are
you spreading that wealth of knowledge of yours around? Or you
I used
waiting
to.
for the book?
No, I used to coach some, but I haven't hardly been in the club the last couple of years.
Just too busy.
Well, yeah, life
You're a
creeps
busy
in.
guy.
Life creeps in, right? Yeah. I've one of these guys that always had a lot of irons in the fire. So
there's a nice shot coming in behind there.
Coming around. Just about a foot deep. So she came around nicely, but if she's that much in front of the button instead of that much behind,
yes,
yeah,
totally different. Now she can.
She gave her a 45-pound roadblock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you just can't get too cavalier about this and say, well, I've got the backing, I'll just... so you can't up the weight too much. You don't want to run a little straight and run through the hole. But she's had her draw weight. She threw a nice one down against 2
Yeah,
in
she's
this
had
exact
2
same
quality.
spot 2 ends ago. So she knows the line. She's just seen the rock thrown. I expect Deb to make this no problem. But you still got to make it.
So now Ed Flanagan, would that have been Larry's father? Grandfather?
Where's this now?
New Brunswick Senior Men's Curling Champion, 1988, Ed Flanagan.
Okay.
Would that have been...
Larry's, he would have been probably not an uncle. Like it would be second cousins or
Oh,
something.
okay, distant.
Yes.
Okay.
You can check with Larry on that. There's lots of Flanagans on the river.
Look
So
at
now
this. Look at this.
She's had
Yeah,
the backing.
You
she's
called it.
Up the weight a little bit.
Yeah, and look what happened
and
there.
now the steal of 2 in the first was given back in the 7th. So
Wow, and that's like you called it. I mean, she had 2 draws beforehand, so she had the weight down.
yeah. When you have that backing, you think, okay, I can just throw it to the backing. But if you up the weight, you don't get the same curl.
Well, there's a big,
High fives all around.
The high fives all around for the New Brunswick. They're feeling good.
Yeah. So
Stole 2 from Manitoba.
Yeah. So Manitoba girls know that they still have control of the game.
Yeah.
Anytime you start a game, we always have this conversation. Would you rather be up 1 without, yeah.
There you go.
Up
When
1
you can
without,
do this.
or down
Go
1
ahead, say
with.
time out.
Down
Time
1
out.
with,
Here we go.
right?
Joe?
Down 1
Go.
with, right?
Take 2.
So yeah. So in a 4 rock rule, I would most definitely like to be up 1 without. Up, down 1 without. Down 1 without. I look.
Down
You have
1.
more of a chance to take 2 than you do.
Trying to.
Yeah. I'd rather be down 1 with the hammer for sure.
Yeah.
Because of the 4 rock rule, so you know you're going to have rocks in play. And when you absolutely commit to a deuce, it's usually there for you. So you don't have to worry about the guard that's up front. Now, Craren, she seems to want to go in here. If I was her, I'd really like to see another rock out front and use the corner guard, but she's stuck to her guns this whole game, and I think she's going to come back in again. You'll watch most times, though, you'll see teams that try to generate a little offense by rocks out in front. And New Brunswick's allowed to hit their own guard, so yeah, this is this must be the horse that got her here, so she's just going to keep going.
Yeah, it's just like first end.
Yeah. Yeah, well, pretty much every end. New Brunswick's try to push the play by throwing some guards, and it's a gutsy call, throwing such a long guard for your first stone. If I'm sure she would have been a lot more pleased if she had been 2 or 3 feet off the rings, but this is, again, she's probably just trotting on the horse that got her here too, right?
I got to start writing down these sayings. Okay, you got a litany of sayings going on there. Have you ever heard the one "come with your elbows knocking"?
No.
CBC, well, another TV station.
Okay.
No, CBC radio.
Yes.
Right, Maritime Noon.
Yeah. Okay.
I know you folks out in Manitoba. You have your shows on. Anyway, they had a guest author come on one day on the radio show, and he's writing a book on local sayings.
Okay.
So he said, if you have a local saying, please share it with us, and I'll put it in the book. And anyway, he said, but typically what happens is you have to come from outside the region and be immersed in the region, because in the region, it's common saying.
That's
right.
right.
So
That's
it's not
right.
unique to the
yes.
Miramichi or,
Yes.
well, geez, my grandfather said, my father said it, like, that's just what we say. So this woman phoned up who was from Manitoba, and she married a guy from Nova Scotia who's in the armed forces. So when he retired, he wanted to move back to Nova Scotia, where his family and everything was from. So she was, I guess, she was game for it. So away she came, and that's how I can say to the folks at home, every family or every circle of friends have the people who host gatherings at
Yes.
their house, right? They're willing to host a gathering. Oh, you know, we'll have the Thanksgiving dinner here, or we'll have the birthday or the anniversary party here. You just, you know, come on. And then we also have these friends or family members sometimes that don't bring anything. Okay?
Yep.
They like to eat your food and drink your beverages, right?
Yes.
So anyway, you ever have groceries and you come to the house and you can't get in the house, so you have to use your elbow to knock on the door to get in, like, someone please let me in.
Okay.
Knock, knock, knock.
See where this is going.
Right? And so anyway, the saying is, you know, we'd love to have you to come, Joe. Come with your elbows knocking.
Yeah.
In other words,
Hands full.
don't come empty-handed.
Yeah. Absolutely. I like that one.
You like that one? Yeah,
Absolutely.
I told that to different ones of people. I like that's a good one.
That's a dandy.
Come with your elbows knocking.
See, I know in this tale of woe, I'm usually the hostee.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So you know what it's like.
Yeah. So now that Manitoba decided to open that up just a touch, and don't think they got what they quite wanted out of that. Opened up their shot stone, and I think you'll see New Brunswick go after that. They're not gonna. Oh boy. Yeah.
Up, time out.
Good. She's going to take a time out. I think it's a wise idea to take a time out here.
love it. I love your comment. Like, ooh, I don't know about that.
Well,
you might want to think about that one.
Yeah. Too many risks on the reward on that.
See, there's the coach of Joe coming out here. There it is right there.
If they play their own yellow rock, you can clip the guard and it leaves you nowhere. Come around the other way. You know, you started this end thinking, okay, I'd like a center guard up, and I'm going to try and defend with offense. And so if you want to leave that guard there, to clip that and just roll away, it'd be fine. You don't want too many rocks in play this end, but just moving that red rock right out of there would be fine for them to come around and bury. You still have your yellow rock up at the top of the 8-foot to play later on. It's in such a nice spot. It's half in behind. It's in a really good spot to move this area. We talked a little bit, we said a couple times earlier in the game about making your move very early in the game.
Yeah.
And by making a move early in any game, you give the other team a lot more chances to respond.
Yes.
So for myself, I always try to keep the game as simple as I can, and so this is a fairly complicated shot. So I really would like to hit the open rock because it wouldn't matter if it rolled out. This here, if you lose everything, you've given red two lovely rocks to come around.
And then, like what we talked about earlier, is the teammate that is shooting. What is her comfort zone sometimes?
Sure.
Right?
But this is just a takeout either way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if she makes a shot, fine, but still, you're moving a rock from a great spot. And believe me, that yellow rock is in a terrific spot. And I think we might have got an air ball here. So. Yeah.
It seems like when you throw a little bit more weight, it's not curling.
Yeah.
It finds that line and it just.
Yeah. Well, some of that's in the release of the stone.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you see somebody coming at you with the rock, you'll see that they'll usually hold the handle in the opposite direction, the opposite rotation. So if they're throwing an out turn, they usually come at you with the handle of the rock turned to the inside, the in-turn side. So as they release the rock, they just straighten the handle. So when you release the rock, if you bring the handle of the rock past the center, you're putting a little sideways momentum onto the rock, and it probably takes the rock about half the sheet to recover that momentum. And that's kind of what happened on that release. Now this here, she's playing a nice soft release because she has to come in a fair bit to get that by.
Nice shot.
Very nice shot.
Very good shot, and
Very
the crowd
nice
here is appreciated. You can tell when it's a good shot, the Manitoba crowd.
Yeah. Very nice shot. Yeah. So very hard double here. It looks more like a jam when you throw weight at this, and when you throw weight at this. So New Brunswick's putting themselves behind the 8 ball here now. It's just
You're going to miss again.
Yeah. Well, again, that was all in the release.
Yeah.
Now
And now Manitoba wants to call a timeout.
Yeah. That was a very tough. That was a tough double to make because half the rock is buried.
And it's interesting. You missed 2 shots. Oh, and look,
Yeah.
two rocks in the house.
2 shots missed, 2 shots made.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So I know it's easy back here, but I think you gotta talk about what you see in the game too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I really both those calls trying to play them with weight, pretty tough. Where you can only see a little bit of that rock, and you know it's a straight turn from the last shot. Maybe what Manitoba played would have been smarter, just a little softer shot. Make sure you make some contact, and if you happen to leave a yellow rock, they get one of the reds. Very tough double on the top.
Do you have you found? I know in other sports, hockey, basketball, even volleyball and stuff, like a lot of teams videotape themselves.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Because a situation like that, it's going to happen again sometime down the road. And they say, okay, what did we do? Like, what? Okay, here's where the rocks are set up. Okay, and you see what the result was. Say, okay, was it just poor execution, or was that just too difficult for us to do? Should we have done something else? So, do many teams videotape their games?
Yeah. More and more now when you have the access to it, right?
Yeah.
Somebody can be sitting up here with an iPad, and you go back over shots in the games.
Right.
And when I coach junior curling, encourage the kids to log their shots.
Right.
And talk about key points in the game. You never criticize. You're just talking about the key points in the game. But people, a lot of people, you don't want to replay a shot to, just to say, oh, you missed that or anything. It's always got to be a learning experience.
Yes.
So you want all learning experiences are started by positive comments and positive feedback. Okay, this is what happened. What could I have done to change the outcome? What could I have done to help what happened? So you can see them now. They're looking at another weighted shot. You can see she's taking very little ice. So these are what we call all or nothings, right?
Yeah.
So on the first one she slid it through the hole. You'd rather see her clip the guard. So this one here, they've tightened up the ice, and they clip the guard, right?
Yeah.
See, now that was the miss in the first shot.
Yeah.
So what we always talk about are positive misses. If we get talking about how they make so many shots at these big events,
because
they have positive misses though.
If she had that shot in the previous one, then the guard would have been gone.
That's right.
Then that make that second shot a lot easier, right?
Well, then you would have only had one rock out.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So she would have had to decide whether to guard second shot, so that they don't make the double, or guard shot rock. So you put something. You have to play it that way. Now she just has to cap.
You know what, Joe? We're in the 8th inning.
We are in the 8th inning.
How did that happen?
It goes by quick.
It just seems like you just sat down.
We're coming with our elbows knocking.
So you're going to use that now.
You
You will always think of me.
You're right. There you go.
Keith Rains. Yeah. I got one for you.
Oh, there's tons of them on the Miramichi.
Yeah, tons.
Yeah. I always say in the Miramichi, we always talk with one word. We're too quick to try to get everything out, so there's hardly a breath. And most of our localisms come from just that sort of thing.
Well, they're shaking hands on sheet C, Northwest Territories. Yeah. At least it's a 5-2 score.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of yellow rocks.
Yeah. Well, they didn't finish the end, so that score doesn't go up.
Okay, so they'll just
the rock still down at the hack. So it's conceded at 5-2.
5-2.
Yeah. There's lots of good close games out there, though, including our game. So Manitoba came in a little too deep, and there's actually a triple there if you can throw the blaster. She doesn't need a triple. She would love to make a double though and keep her shooter, and she's very close to that. So there's her double. you're not. They should have been sweeping that other rock to get her out. Oh, went out on its own. So
Okay.
yeah. So they just came a little too deep on that last mate stone for Manitoba.
Next action for these teams will be tomorrow evening, so they'll get a chance to regroup.
Regroup and recruit.
Yeah. Manitoba is playing 7:30 tomorrow evening against Newfoundland, and New Brunswick is at 7:30 against Prince Edward Island.
Okay.
And the Manitoba girls will be back on this same sheet.
Oh.
So a little bit of advantage there.
Well, you'd be surprised how much a sheet can change in a day.
Okay.
So
it's not an advantage.
it will be.
Yeah.
It will be a bit, but the other teams are smart enough that they'll watch a bit of a game on this sheet and see what the sheet's tendencies are. And sometimes when you've played on a sheet and it seems to have done one thing, you think, okay, that's going to happen again, and it doesn't always happen that way. So they are in a great shape for a deuce this end.
Alberta's up 6-3 over Quebec.
Yeah, they're getting down to run them at rocks too, so.
Three.
She
Nova Scotia and Newfoundland.
Oh, she
just
touched. She touched. It might shut up a double here unless they can get it back pie. But even if they do, they give up a hit and roll. So there's a great chance for New Brunswick to bail themselves out with just a little bump and roll. And you wouldn't want to play this really hard, just through the house kind of weight, hit half the rock, and kind of settle it in behind. A hit and roll here would take away the deuce. Unless you rolled out to the open. You definitely have to get some movement though.
Well, here's a big shot. That's why the skips get paid big dollars, right?
The big money, yeah.
BC's up 7-5 over Northern Ontario, and 6-3 Yukon over Prince Edward Island.
It's quite a turnaround in that game with BC. They were down at 4-1 at one point, so.
Yeah. Got three in the last 10. Those threes hurt.
Oh, they hang ugly up there, that's for sure. Hang ugly when they're not yours.
Hang ugly. There's another one.
So she's tightened up her ice a little bit. She's trying to get the hit and roll. If she can roll right in behind everything. Oh, another. That was her strategy early. And they're on it, so we'll see what happens here, but it's not looking good. Yeah, she blew a tire the first end, and it's come back to haunt her. She'll have to regroup. So there we go. Yeah, that's a tough break.
Yeah.
3 for Manitoba and a win for Manitoba. Good game all the way around. And great
three,
sportsmanship
so
after.
3, so 9-7.
9-7
is our final.
Yeah.
And just going, we'll just go quickly down. Why don't you get the folks at home just one more roundabout with the scores?
Okay, so Alberta here has an open hit, and if they take out either of those rocks, this game is going to be over. Quebec is line 2. It looks like they're fairly open, so with a good throw, that game should be done. We have a barn burner going on sheet D. We have Nova Scotia, Newfoundland playing. It's 3-3, and Newfoundland has the hammer, and they have shot rock. So there's